jungle, you an antelope. I'm a disease with no antidote. Got the screws loose and the hammers close. It's a workshop, let me clock in. These rapping squares like they boxed in. I'm lane swerving with no fucks. Public enemy with no chuck. No choice, that's a young buck. I'm the king of the jungle, you an antelope. I'm a disease with no antidote. Got the screws loose and the hammers close. It's a workshop.
What is going on, y'all? Welcome to Live Tribal. Joined with me today are my two compadres. We've got Coach Drew.
How's everyone doing? I'm looking forward to it.
And John V as in villain.
No. Yeah, V as is villain. Yeah.
I'm also a host here. My name is Joel, and we're gonna get into it. So, what is Live Tribal? Like, what can you expect? We're unlike a lot of other LRG podcasts. We're going to try to stay away from just recaps because you can get that anywhere. We're more of going deep into unpopular opinions, hot takes, everything LRG and ORG. We're going to have some fun guests. We have one today. Excited to introduce them later. So that's what you can expect. Stick around, ask some questions in the chat, and we have some fun games later. We might be taking shots, who knows? But that's basically it. We're just gonna shoot some shit today, and I hope that you are ready for it. John, what are your thoughts?
I'm here to stir up drama. You know that V stands for villain, so I'm ready. Talking about some games later on. We got the wheel. We got some interesting categories here. No shade, but shade at some orgs who have a wheel that's usually weighted, no one can see on screen. So we came with the authentic wheel, and we're gonna turn shit up. And that's how we doing out here, Live Tribal. I love Live Tribals. I love it. So let's go. That's what we're here for.
And honestly, I'm glad you guys brought me on board for this. I've been looking forward to it for as long as you guys have asked me. Like Joel said, we're not doing recaps of any of these games. We're just kind of, we're talking to people that actually play these games that do play them. We're talking about our experiences in not only LRGs, but orgs and minis, how we got into this community in the first place, and, issues and positives that we have seen, from every section of the community, and I feel like we have a very eclectic group of people here that I feel like you can get varying opinions, and I just hope that no one takes it too seriously. But as we all know, we do come from a pretty sensitive side of the community, so for all we know, everyone gets upset.
Yeah, and I mean, between the three of us, or mostly between John, we've got so much experience with all these different games. So we'll be able to delve deep into our thoughts on anything. But is there anything else that you guys want to talk about?
We can go around and talk about our intro into this community.
For me, I'm a Survivor fan through and through. I'm in love with the show. I try not to miss an episode. Sometimes life happens, so I've missed a couple episodes. And how I got into this community, I listened to a podcast, and at the end, I think Naomi was on the podcast, and she was like, "Hey, do you want to play Survivor New York this summer?" And I was like, "Yeah, okay, fine. I'll throw my hat in the ring. I don't know what to expect." And it was an experience. But holy crap, I didn't realize there was such an iceberg. That was only the tip of the iceberg. There's so many different games. And I'm very competitive, and we all like to win, right? So I just kept playing, and here I am. Now I'm an addict. Most people middle-aged, they cheat on their wives and get motorcycles and get tattoos.
Damn, that's
uncle.
Shit, hold on. Hold on.
I was gonna say I'm a couple of years away from being middle.
Go ahead, continue.
I'm not married and I can't afford a motorcycle, so we're good.
So this is my midlife crisis, basically.
I joined the org community in January of 2021. Lifelong Survivor fan. And that opened the door to the LRG community. I've only played two, but obviously I help with production for one. And, through 45-ish games of both LRG and orgs, I can say that I have met I'm 33 years old, and I would say that the majority of the friends that I have made in my 30s have come from this community. And I was a pretty social person in my 20s, and when I hit 30, it's like I think I just don't want to talk to people anymore. But this community has opened the door to me meeting people that have similar interests, not only when it comes to Survivor and other reality television, but you meet people that are into the same types of sports that you are, same people that are into anime or reading or what have you. And I think that I always say, yeah, we're basically LARPing Survivor for a living. And it's true. Like we are professional LARPers. We just happen to LARP something that we all think is cool. So I was able to work production on a season that both John and Joelle played on, and kind of connected with that. And I've known them for 3 years. So I'm glad to still have them in my life, and to be doing this for the next few weeks.
Yes.
So
I think opposite from you two guys, I was never a Survivor fan. I grew up watching Road Rules versus Real World. My brother Tyler Henderson got me into the LRG world. He basically showed me a show called The Penthouse. We both auditioned for it. I got on it. After that, people were talking about Survivor. Didn't really know much about Survivor. I went into my first game. I went into my first two Survivor games without ever watching an episode of Survivor. I was like, fuck it, I'll figure it out. I grew up playing ball, so I was like, this is just like the middle-aged competitive league, basically, to me. I met Joel there. We connected instantly. Coach was our tribe handler, and he gave us the best advice every time we went out there, and was don't fuck it up. And that's all I'm going to say, because this is the lost season. It hasn't been aired yet. But, yeah, we heard that a lot. That's all I can say. Don't fuck it up.
Don't fuck up.
Don't fuck it up. Yeah, and I mean, yeah, definitely live tribal is we're just going to talk our shit, man. Like, we're not here to recap. We're not going to be the sugar-coated podcast. We're just going to talk realness and let people get a chance to tell their story, and that's what we're here for.
Yeah, and speaking of people telling their story, we do have a wonderful guest who's been backstage, patient. And without further ado, let's introduce our first guest of Live Tribal. Come on in, Rachael McKenna.
Let's go.
Who's shocked? Hello. I know it's me, guys. You can't get rid of me everywhere. I'm so happy to be here. I'm so excited for this. You're not
Let's clap it up. Clap it up.
Is there an audience in here? Welcome. How are you feeling tonight?
I'm excited. I really love talking about, not only my experiences in this community, but like hearing other people's stories and just bringing more awareness to this small community of the world that is definitely a lot bigger than a lot of us really think,
Yes.
Yeah. And so what got you into this community?
So I got a random DM on Christmas Eve of 2021 about a Big Brother game, because I am an avid Big Brother fan through and through. Like, that is my game. That is my thing. And it was for an org called Perception. And I was like, oh, like, cool. An online Big Brother game. Sure, I'll play. Why not? So that happened in February of 2022 was my first game. I didn't realize how taxing it is and how I have to call people constantly and talk to people constantly. But I tried to get out Miss Kim Matina. We love her. Deal or No Deal Island Queen. I came at her. I tried to get her out. It was my big move, and it bit me in the ass, and I got 12th place. So that was my first org experience. I played a few since then, and I got into the LRG community based on an org that I played. And I played my first live game in 2023, original format, Ascendance Live Season 4. Go check it out. One of the best experiences of my life, and I'll definitely touch on that later. But ever since that, like, I've realized that these games are not only like bringing these shows to life in person, but like I just graduated with a film degree, and I love like production aspects of things and episodes and editing and edits and stuff like that. So like combining both of those, I'm like, this is the perfect community for me, and I'm here and I'm riding it out and I love it, and I've had such much fun so far.
Nice. So you made the jump from org to LRGs. What can you say about that? Because I've started with LRGs. I didn't org. I didn't really like it that much, so I went back to LRGs. But what can you say? Like what kind of did you take away from the orgs to do great in the LRG space?
Yeah, definitely understanding the balance that you have to have when playing these games to not become such a threat, kind of to who you need to talk to, stuff like that. But specifically with Ascendance, which is the org that I played in 2023 in March, and I ended up signing up for the live game like randomly after one of the episodes airs. I was like, hey, put me in as an alternate, whatever. And I had just come off playing the org version, so I kind of knew what I was doing and how I was going to navigate it. And then I played the live game in May of that same year. And I really think that having that knowledge of the org, and same goes for like Big Brother and Survivor games, like being able to take what you know from the orgs and how online and to bring it in person, it's definitely a different kind of way you have to do it because you're face to face with people, but it definitely helps. And I mean, it's definitely helped me with the knowledge of going into not only like the social aspect and the competitions and all that, but just like feeling comfortable in the space. Definitely.
Well, glad to hear you made the jump. Hopefully we'll see.
Yes, I'm glad I did. And honestly, I don't really want to go back to the org world. Thank you. I'm good.
We've got a lot coming up about that.
Yes.
But before we do that, why not have a toast? I gotta get a shot. So he's really unprofessional. So I'll be right back.
Oh, really unprofessional.
Well, I was going to say, if we want to take a second, for you, Rachel, positive-wise, orgs to LRGs, what is something, I mean, besides, we won't talk about money being involved because LRGs have to have money. What are some of the positives that you have taken from orgs that you have used in your live games? And do you feel like there are some people that should start there before they move on?
I definitely think that a positive, like I had touched on earlier from the orgs, is that like you've played these games before and kind of like besides just watching it, you've put yourself in the position where you have to at least pretend to play the real game online. And that made me kind of just feel more comfortable going out there and giving it my all. I mean, if you watched my very first LRG performance, I definitely was not all this. I was definitely more like, oh shit, what do I do? Like, I am not going to be my big self, but I'm not going to like shut down. It's kind of like you have to figure out how you want to do it because now everyone sees everything you do, your body language, the way you look at people, the way you move, who you talk to, everyone can constantly see in a live game rather than an org. But it definitely made me feel more comfortable overall playing online first. And I definitely encourage anybody who has played online, especially for years and years, maybe it's your first time you've played one game live or online, play live because it's a totally different experience and you also make such great connections. You think you make good connections in orgs, but once you play live games with people, like they're your friends for life for sure.
And before we take the shot, and I would just piggyback off of that, I do agree that coming from the org community going to LRGs, I do feel like it is practice for the big game. And I do feel like there are a lot of people in the org community, and this is not me saying anything that I haven't told other people in the org community. There are a lot of people in the org community that get really big heads about themselves and think that they're king or queen shit because they've won this many games and this, that, and the other. And they kind of just try to rest on that. And it's like, you should go try at least one out. Whether you get voted out first or not really doesn't matter. As long as you can say, hey, I actually went and did the real thing or as close to the real thing as possible. Yeah. Just so I can go back to it, because I do feel like once you play an LRG, orgs become so much easier. At least they did for me. Yeah. Because now you've been thrown in the actual shit. And now you can't hide behind, oh, I've got to go to work, or I've got to go do this, I've got to do that. It's like, no, you have to sit here and you have to talk to me. and I have to talk to you, and I have to sit at this tribal. I can't not go to tribal because I know I'm going to get voted out. I have to sit here and I have to deal with this rejection, basically. So I do agree with it, and I appreciate the fact that you phrased it like that. I have my shot ready.
Let's do this.
All right, so I got so many things here, but I'll start off with some rum.
You haven't even poured it yet?
Oh, it's in here. It's in here.
Oh, okay. Oh, it's clear. Okay.
Oh, yeah, it's good.
I poured my shaker in here as well.
Okay.
Live tribal.
Oh my God.
Period.
All right. So
We're not supporting alcoholism.
we are. All right.
It's
so
all
now-
for fun. We're all legal. Everybody chill out.
All right, so let's start off with a wheel. Anybody who's played orgs, you have been fucked by one of these before.
Minis especially. Minis.
It hasn't been on screen or the host waited because they like somebody better than you. All right.
I have absolutely gotten rocked out by a wheel in a mini before and first boot, and it was not fun.
Oh
I
my
promise
God.
we won't rig this wheel like you rigged the LRG awards. All right, Rachel? Let's start.
You're
All right.
so done.
I can't wait for the conspiracies.
All right.
Oh, is that a
Ooh,
question mark?
question marks. Great. All right.
Oh
was
God.
that?
So we're gonna Joel, can you start a timer?
Oh,
60
okay,
seconds.
Sure. For how many minutes?
60 seconds. 60 seconds.
60
Rachel,
seconds.
you have liquor next to you.
Uh-huh.
All right. So
I have
I'm
no
going to
idea.
ask you as many questions as I can in 60 seconds. You have 5 seconds to answer. If you don't want to answer, you take a sip.
Okay.
All right.
This sounds awful, but
I'm scared.
the timer has started.
All right. Let us know when the timer started.
Okay, ready?
Okay. 3. All right. 2. Is it started? All right.
Yeah.
First question. So how did Chris Gardner help you cheat in BB Hogwarts?
Obviously he followed me around and pointed at everything and made me look at it, like, because that's exactly what happened, because that's exactly what I was doing when I was trying to fight for my life in a triple eviction. That's exactly what happened. Thank you.
Okay. Next question. How does it feel being the Orgo drama baby mama?
I feel so seen and so, like, I'm proud that I am the face of Orgo drama because I want to be the face of something, because apparently I love attention.
Ooh.
Okay. All right. This is also on the wheel, but okay. Fuck, marry, kill. Ascendance Live, Outlast, BB Hogwarts.
Fuck.
You got 10 seconds.
You got 10 seconds. Or you can sip. Or you can sip.
I'll sip because
Yeah, I would sip
Okay.
too because. All right, time.
All right.
Wow.
All right. This is
full disclaimer, there was no cheating involved. Full disclaimer, I don't like being on Orgo drama.
No, and I did want to touch on that because it's very hard to kind of avoid that topic. I left that page a couple years ago and I re-upped this summer because for some reason this summer it just popped off, more than I had seen in the last few years. And obviously your name popped up a lot in there, whether you were commenting on something or people were tagging you in it. Do you feel, and obviously, this is your forum to talk, do you feel like a lot of that, where do you feel like a lot of that comes from? Because despite things that may have happened, it feels like people just unnecessarily just are angry at you. And I've seen actual problematic shit that people have done in this community. Where do you think that comes from?
I think a lot of it, relatively recently, comes from a place of misunderstanding, miscommunication, and potentially immaturity, question mark. I mean, some on my end, sure, I shouldn't be replying to all these comments and being like that, but a lot of it, especially in the past few weeks, have been put to rest, cleared up based on having adult conversations. So I think, especially as of now, a lot of it is dying down because those conversations were had, and it was more like, your friends are attacking me. Oh, but it's not it's a problem when my friends attack you, like, type of thing. But getting my job threatened publicly on an Orgo drama page is a little bit crazy, considering at the time I hadn't even started the job yet. but like I said, conversations were had. People had been bitter about things in the past, and I kind of, all you can do is kind of say, I understand. I know, like, I upset you in the past. I've done a lot in my past. Shut up, Taylor. um, yeah, like, I'm not perfect in any means, and it was kind of like, oh, you want me to take accountability? Here I have it, and then apparently it's a call for attention. So I'm like, I can't win with these people online, so the only thing I can do to protect myself, my mental health, my well-being, because everybody knows I'm so mentally ill on this community. But
Wait, that was if you say mentally ill, you got to take a shot. I forgot to tell you.
What?
I mean, that could be a whole other episode.
But I do want to follow up that question with, and going off of that, when you did the LRG Awards, me and you we encountered each other once in the CTC mini back in like January.
That's the one I got more proud of.
Yes.
You walked out of it?
Yeah. When John asked me to be someone to vote, I was like, okay, yeah, I'm very impartial because I don't give a shit. Like, I really don't. Like, once again, I'm not here to boost anyone's ego at all. I don't care. I don't like when people have big egos to begin with. But I thought it was a really cool idea for someone that I had met for an hour to be doing something like this. And I think that the reception that I saw was fairly positive. And then when the negative reception started coming in, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, I don't know this person, so I can't like speak to anything. But when people started saying that the voting was rigged, I'm like, okay, well, I thought that was a target against. I took that personally, as Michael Jordan might say, because I know for me, I actually took the time to go and watch everything that I was voting for because I didn't want to vote for Survivor New York for everything, and I didn't want to have to vote for John for everything. Like, I wanted to vote based off of my perception of what was going on. And I did vote for John for one. I voted for Survivor New York for something, but like I didn't vote for everything they were nominated for.
Right.
And there were 9 of us, right?
Yes, and I believe they were also spread out because I was working behind the scenes of getting people. So there was maybe 7 or 6 of the 9 who I don't know. It was hosts from other shows, some productions, and then I think we even went as far as there's somebody who always comments on all of the LRGs. Every LRG person's in the comments. I see them in the YouTube streets, right? That was Valencia, and it was something like, this is a person who's a true fan. So we went and reached out to her to see, hey, do you want to vote? And they took on the challenge, like, yeah, I'll vote. And that's someone who, I don't know that necessarily they're a fan of me or they're a fan of fucking whoever else was nominated. I don't know. There's just someone who I knew could be most impartial. And I feel like if there was any rigging going on, I feel like any of the judges would have came forward. So that's something that we kind of just wanted to get out there, like, for sure. Like, it was a great idea. Mm-hmm. Everyone's not going to win the first time. But it was something that I think keeps the LRG culture going and something that we needed. LRG has been around, if you date back to Angelica, over 20 years. Yeah, I think it was that's wild.
And VHS tapes.
Yeah, so like now we got this is worldwide. You got Australia, you got China LRGs, you got LRGs everywhere. So I thought it was dope. I hope Rachel keeps doing it. It can only get bigger and better. But yeah, I mean, there's always going to be haters. And coming from that org background, I understand it. From the LRG background, I played LRGs before I played an org. And I had the same type of hate where I played a penthouse and I was almost blackballed. Like, I could not get casted for games because they would hit up other people and say to not cast me. Even though I go through some of that now, it's just because people don't want to smoke with me. But back then it was Dave didn't want me to launch. And I feel like a lot of people are trying to take little shots at you. So I'm glad you're here. And, I got your back. So,
yeah, no, that's kind of what I was going to say, too, is like, I feel like a lot of that hate had been stemmed from those 1, 2, 3 or so die-hard haters of me who, matter of fact, since I've like kind of mended fences with, surprisingly, with some of the people who have been like the ones going to Orgo Drama or going and calling me names and stuff. So that's good. But I feel like part of that stemmed from that. I've accepted that people don't always want me to succeed, and that's fine. And that's what you want to do. You want to hate on me? Sure, go for it. I ended up, everyone was like, oh, where's the like form to like say that like anything to improve? And I did one of those and it was just a big fat middle finger. So I thought that was hilarious. But yeah, I want to keep doing them. I tried to make it as fair as possible. I'm not even mutual friends on Facebook with half these judges. I don't even know who they are. I made forms. I made hosts sent me reels and I sent those out to the judges so they could watch and highlight the players that were nominated, stuff like that. I went the extra mile to make sure that nothing was rigged. And every single person who won an award got the most votes, point blank, period. Like, I can show you the receipts. I've got all the forms there. If people really want to be like that, like, I have the proof. But yeah, I definitely want to say that I went the extra mile, and John also was by my side doing all of this. And like, if both of us put our best foot forward and do it, like, there's no reason to not be honest if there was even rigging involved in the first place.
I think one of the reasons why people think it's rigged is because like you organized it and then got Rookie of the Year. So yeah. I think that people are conflating like the whole process to like, oh yes, of course you got Rookie of the Year. Like, she runs the thing. So like,
yeah, my input on that, you should have did that award who
made the awards list, John?
That was a wheel, but it wasn't this one. It was a virtual one.
It was a virtual rigged wheel. But like, Matthew Papa sent a reel to the judges of me. Like, that's how that happened. That's how it shook out. Like, I didn't tell people to vote for me. I didn't tell people to nominate me. I didn't do any of that because my focus was organizing things, editing into the timeline, like reaching out to people who I needed to. I don't have time to go around and be like, hey, vote for me. Hey, vote for me. Like, realistically, be fucking for real.
Yeah, running a campaign. So,
and honestly, I kind of deserved it. Like, I played a hell of a game that game. So it is what it is. Hate me. Go for it. I don't care.
Yeah, when I saw like the LRG awards kind of like picking up steam, I saw it as like, oh, you better not put me as any of these because I don't want this to come up in a game and they're like, oh, he got Player of the Year, vote him out. You know? Yeah. I was like, okay, let me lay low because I don't want to get voted out because of an award. Like, so I think people should have like been like, no, don't vote for me. Instead of have the opposite effect. Right. And it's just so funny. Like, we play these games that we like sleep in the woods or like go to a house and just lie to each other, and we all think we deserve to have an award when like everybody does the same thing, right? And it's crazy to me the fact that a lot of people like, you know, gave you shit about it when if it's not for you, there is no awards. Go make your own awards.
Right. And like, I was bored. I had nothing to do. I was high out of my mind and I said, hey, this would be a fun idea. And then John was like, you should actually do it. And I was like, I mean, I just finished filming my movie, which is taking a lot of my time up as doing my senior capstone. And I was like, you know what? Sure. Why not? I'll do it. And then I was like, oh shit, this is actually a real thing. I've got like 300 something people following the page. I'm like, okay, now we're picking up speed. Now we're going to actually have it happen. And I mean, I also wanted to do it to highlight the people who do go above and beyond, whether it's hosts, players, production members, graphic designers, editors, what have you. Like, y'all deserve to be recognized, and that's really what I wanted to do it for.
Yeah. Joel, are you queuing that up?
I am.
So speaking about movie career, right? We heard that you have worked with some A-list celebrities on a couple of your films. We have a clip right here. We have a clip of, you work with some top tier actors. We'll just let this play real quick.
My green Stanley in the background is crazy.
Excuse me, miss, can you just move out of the way? Becca Davis, right? From Infinity Press?
Who's that guy in the back?
Yeah, how did you... Valerie, I need you to write a story for me. Sorry, I don't do personal requests. Hear me out. No, listen, I'm really busy right now, and like I said, I don't do personal requests. Hey, Gigi. It's for you, thank you. Sorry.
All right.
So that was some great acting right there. I don't know who that guy was in the back, but
I wonder what he was reading.
Clap it up for him. That he
What
read
were you
the shit out that book. He read the shit out that book.
Big out of category for the LRG Awards.
Best actor right there.
That's
Yes,
actually
shout out to John B for being in my capstone film. Maybe. Yes, and also we had some people try and like do that little thing, and I said, nope, vote again.
Yeah.
But yeah, go watch my movie. We are officially getting a composer to finish up a little bit of sound stuff, and then we're gonna submit to festivals, and hopefully I get to win money.
And that's the thing about this community, just in general, is the fact that there are so many people that have all these fun careers that are doing all these. I mean, obviously I can't spoil, but like Joel and John played on a season with someone. You know, but you meet all these very interesting people, and what bothers me about the community on the other end of that is we advertise ourselves as being a very open, a very accepting group of folks, and then we regress to bullying tactics. You know, whether Rachel, whether what you say or what post you comment on or whatever are right or wrong, the fact that people just decide, okay, well, now we have to make sure that this woman gets fired from her job, or we have to make sure this, that, and the other. It's like, okay, guys, I feel like we're taking it a little too far with this. The punishment does not match the crime or whatever, whatever we're calling it. It doesn't match, and I feel like everyone kind of sits on this. They feel like they're holier than thou.
Yeah,
it's like we all got skeletons in our closet.
Right.
Trust me, we all done some fucked up shit in our life, and we've decided, oh, we're gonna all our anger on this person, so that later, when all these people that are like outwardly attacking, skeletons come out about these people, it's like, yeah, no shit, like that's how this happens, and it's frustrating. And I mean, obviously, I will always love this community, but it's like, I hate. Let's say I feel like I'm sitting on a pedestal here, but like, be better about this type of shit, just in general. Not you, but just in general.
Right. No, and I definitely think that part of what happened with the whole Big Brother Hogwarts thing that blew up on Orgodrama was because of people saying, like, oh, there's Rachel. Oh, she did this, this, and this. I wouldn't be surprised if this happened. Like, way back when, I'll tell this little tiny story. But when Ascendance Alive Season 4 was airing, me and Chris G got into a fight in the episode. He was calling out me and my partner. He did not like us. He blamed us for his eviction and blah, 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 blah. And in the episode, we didn't like each other. So you know what we did? We said, hey, let's pretend to not like each other and play into the episode. So we faked a fight. We pretended we hated each other for a long ass time, and people believed it. And then we came clean and we're like, hee hee ha ha, that was all a joke. And now Rachel's looked at this pathological liar. So, I mean, I'll admit, sure, I shouldn't have made you feel that way. However, you were the one to believe it. So, like, it is what it is. But because of that one instance, people saw me and Chris and said, oh, I wouldn't be surprised if this happened because they did it in the past, blah, blah, blah. But people who know us know we're just unserious people. We play into bits. We have fun. And nothing is ever meant with any harm. But like I said, and I had apologized to the people I had apologized to that I hurt, and I will continue to do so. But it's kind of that kind of thing where, like, oh, you do one thing in the past that people are like, oh, she lied about this. What makes me think she didn't cheat in this or rig this, blah, blah, blah. And that's kind of what people go for in this community. They see my name and then they bring up this, that, and the other thing. And I mean, I'm not perfect. We all know this. I've got learning to do. I'm only 22. I'll be 23 on Saturday, but still, I'm still fairly young. And I know I can't blame it on that and blah, 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 blah. And people want to say whatever they want to say. But that's kind of what it is. They see me and they say, oh, well, you did all of this. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if this is actually what happened. And that's kind of how that whole thing blew up.
But that kind of leads into a segue where I wanted to say so these games, when you go into a game, how much of the game do you take personal and how much of the game do you take as just game? because that's something that I feel every LRG player has struggled with. They got to decompress after. Like, I'm one I can openly admit. Depending on what happens to me in the game, I could take shit personally, and like I'll hold a grudge forever. Like, if I see you in the game and I feel like you fucked me over, you're on my target forever.
Right.
So how does Rachael McKenna separate this is a game move or this is personal? Like, where do you draw that line?
I mean, usually, as we know, it's a lot easier to take things personally in LRGs rather than orgs because you are organically with them and you're feeling their vibes and they're feeling your vibes. When it comes to doing what's best for your game and doing what's best personally, I kind of take myself out of my game and put myself in their shoes, or at least try to understand, like, is this a good decision for them? And if I think remotely it could be, then I don't take it personally. However, if you're a really good friend of mine and you see that we're working together and we are for up until a point, Eli and Big Brother Hogwarts, and then you turn your back on me and do this and then lose the game, I'm kind of like, well, you did that to yourself, Johnny. But yeah, I don't take things personally outside of game. I mean, I'll have my moment. I'll have my, like, let me let you know that you fucked up real bad, and let me let you know that I'm hurt from what you did. However, at the end of the day, it's on to the next, and then that next game, it's a whole other story if I want to hold a grudge or not.
Yeah, I think it also like depends on the game length. Like if it's a 1 day game for me, I'm like, whatever, you know, like I just met you. But like when we get into 3-4 days and we've been riding for that long, then it's hard to separate the two.
If I have to sleep through Joel snoring and then he votes me out, that's some shit.
I always come in and I say, I'm sorry, I snore. And everybody's always like, don't worry, my dad snores, my partner snores. And I'm like, no, it's bad.
Nah, Joel snoring is
listen. And my Outlast tribe mates can attest to this. I was the snorer on the tribe. I don't know if it's gonna make the edit or not. I kind of hope not because I don't know. But like they were like, "Oh, I always knew when Rachel was sleeping because we could hear her." So I was like, "Great, nice."
So I feel like for everyone that's read Lord of the Flies, for me at least, and for I feel like a lot of other people, like that's kind of the dissenting thing that a lot of y'all have said is, once a game is over to me, I just kind of snap back into real life, similar to Lord of the Flies, where like, hey, they're out there being crazy, and then when the military shows up at the end of the book, they revert back to just being children. I feel like there's a part of the community that they can get voted out and they can go back to just, okay, it was a game, I lost. Losing sucks. I can be upset about it, but if I run across this person in another game, I'm not going to immediately just be like, well, they got to go. On the other end of that, there are folks that, you know, they can carry that grudge from game to game. And I don't think there's a right or wrong way of what mentality to have after a game. I think where the problem is, and I feel like you two on the bottom, being John and Rachel, have had to deal with in this community is people using other things that have happened and coming at you, whether it's warranted or not. You just voting out someone should not be the cause for people to target you, but that's not usually the reason that people come after. So, Rachel, my question would be, Survivor is Survivor. People don't, like, when they go out and play, they don't know about each other's lives. LRGs, normally you're going to know about at least one other person's life before you get there. Is it right to judge someone in a game based off what you know about their actual life that you really haven't learned about them in that specific game? If that question makes sense?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think so. I don't think it should be looked. I mean, maybe it can be looked at, maybe it can be noted, but when I go into a game, I treat everybody as if I'm meeting them for the first time, and I'm kind of looking at their game from the inside out. But I don't think just because you've seen somebody play before, you should target them, or you've seen how they play, you should target them, because I mean, everybody goes into every game different. Everybody goes into every format different. And it's really from game to game for me personally. I mean, I haven't played necessarily enough to have seen multiple people. I mean, I've played games with people before, like multiple of them, but I go into it with a clean slate and I kind of take my step back with my knowledge that I know about them and kind of put my own lens on it and say, oh, how am I going to use what I know about you to analyze how I want to go with you in the game. I know in Big Brother Hogwarts, I was mentioned something about the LRG awards, but it was more like, oh, she like does awards or won an award, something like that. And that's eventually what got me caught at 6, and kind of because I had this reputation, which like for me personally, like I won't be bitter if I make at least jury. If I make at least single digits, I'll be fine. I'll be happy. But I mean, it's when I get cut early or get like, and I played Ascendance Unplugged and I got 11th, and I was like really mad about that. Tainted experience, that sucked. But eventually I was able to brush it off, and when I got asked to play again, I came in 7th, and after winning a battle back, so I was like, okay, this is much better. I'm more at peace. That's kind of where I'm at peace with you. If you vote me out at this, like I get it. So that's kind of how I left with Big Brother Hogwarts. I was like, I understand that I'm a threat for this. I'm not taking it personally. I understand you've seen me before. You know this, even though I don't think you should base off that, how you're preserving me in the game, but it is what it is. And I'm more at peace with that, obviously, as one is, rather than getting pre-jury and being bitter. Because I will be a bitter juror and I will be a bitter pre-juror, which we can get into later if you want.
My God. How would you be a bitter pre-juror? You're not voting.
I've been bitter, like, fuck you all for voting me out pre-jury. Like, don't talk to me.
Oh, okay.
She's taking pictures of who's left in the game and shit. Spoil.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that calls for another wheel spin.
Oh, you in this damn wheel.
Yeah,
Bring the
listen,
wheel.
this was $27.34 on Amazon, and it was missing a washer, a nut, 2 nuts. Probably. And, all right, let's go. What are we on?
Hot take.
Hot take.
All right, so let's all go around and give a hot take. Let's start with Rachel. Hot take on.
We're all giving hot takes.
Oh, give me hot takes. Live
Okay.
tribal, you know?
Okay, make it live. Make it live. All right.
These strings on sale. All right.
Hot take. I much prefer final 2 FTCs than final 3. I don't know if that's a hot take, but I don't really like the final 3.
Why the fuck would you like that? Why?
I mean, I get it. Like, oh, I was like, oh, we want like 3 people to have chances. No, I want a head-to-head battle. I don't want to see any final 3s. Like, that's boring.
But then you can make the argument that the goat that's there at final 3, like I brought that goat. You know, I raised it. You know,
That's
maybe. However, that 3rd place person, they're like, if they get no votes, they're still like, I made final tribal. Bitch, you got no votes. Like, you would have been 3rd place anyway. Like, you don't deserve to be like, I got final tribal. Like, no, final tribal is a head-to-head battle, point blank period. That's how all Survivor games should be.
Rachel, you're about to get a text from somebody from Unplugged. They feel the type of way when you just.
But
anyway,
Probably.
with that, I'd agree with you only if the show tells you. I don't like surprises because I think from the moment you step into the park or wherever you're going, you have to be thinking about the numbers to get you to final 3. And if at final 3 they're like, surprise,
Right.
then it just fucks your game up. So I think just be forthcoming. This is the final 2. This is the final 3. At final 4, it's fire or puzzle or whatever. Everything else can be a twist and be secret.
Right.
But at least tell us how the mechanics of the game work so we can tailor our experiences around it.
For sure.
Yeah.
Joel, so what's your hot take though?
Mine, okay. I think that Vets versus Newbies is played out. Because, okay, here's my issue with it, right? What does it mean to be a vet, right? If I played one game and I went out first, like, how much more experience does that give me over somebody who's never played a game before? And each game is different, right? So it's not like the challenge where, the format is different, but it's basically the same game. And after you play 2 or 3, you're like, oh, okay, I'm a bet challenge, right? Like, one game to a different game, it's completely different. And it's up to the host and the production to, give you the tools you need to succeed. And so I may be good in one, but maybe in the other one I'm not. So, and I think we've seen it all the time, and it always ends up where like everybody's only rooting for the underdogs. Like, shit, I paid just as much money to be here. You're gonna root for me too. Like, just because I played a game before, you're not gonna root for me? I don't know.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
No, I mean, I do agree. If you went out early, then you're not a vet. You're a returnee. That's how I would look at it, instead of a vet. But I don't think it's played out. I just think, all right, if you're a newbie, you have a great opportunity to capitalize off vets being in a game. You know, that's what, if that's not the theme of the whole show, but it's kind of casted that way, is a lot of vets, like, we carry a lot of baggage. Like, we hate each other. We want to top each other. We want to be on that Mount Rushmore.
I love everyone.
Yeah, well, we want to be on that Mount Rushmore LRG. So as a rookie, that's the best opportunity. Or as a vet, you can kind of have that veteran courtesy, which I don't see a lot, extended a lot. It's like, if you play with someone like Melanie, she'll shout out your whole game resume instead of saying, I'm a vet, you're a vet, let's kind of look, work together. Where you can play with other vets who might be like, I know this person or I know of them. So let me just say, I'm not going to come after you if you don't come after me. But you don't really see that extended often. You kind of see vets try to chop off other vets' legs. And I don't know. I think for a rookie, that's the best opportunity. Vets versus newbies. If you're a fucking newbie, sky's the limit. If you're a vet, you're probably going to get cut.
But I think in every game, there's always going to be like a sliding scale of experiences. So just the base of season just on that, I don't know. I feel like it's like you could have done something else. That's just me. I'll still watch it, of course. I'm gonna watch it. But I think we need to come up with a new theme quickly.
Yeah, fans versus OnlyFans. Let's
Tops versus bottoms.
Okay. Not taking suggestions from you guys.
I think if you're a newbie and you can get in with those vets and be in cool with them as they chop each other's heads off, you're golden. Otherwise, it's either vets are going to eat each other or vets are going to chop the newbies off and then eat at each other. It's really one or the other, and then those floating newbies kind of getting in with those vets, protecting themselves and ending up winning because people don't want to vote for the vets in the end.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like what you said about if you are like an early boot, you're not really a vet, you're a returnee.
Yeah,
and that's why I think, those seasons should be invite only. They should be.
Coach, what's your hot take, Coach?
All right. So whenever I interact with people in this community, the same buzzwords usually pop up, especially the phrase "big moves."
Oh.
And my perception of the game, I enjoy game theory, as a coach, as a big fan of the book and movie Moneyball. I think that. So when people say big moves to me, usually it means, I got to make all these. I got to make 10 big moves if I want to win the game, or I have to have this resume if I want to win this game. When historically, on the actual show, the people that are out there doing crazy shit, more often than not, usually get cut before the end of the game. So then that's where the phrase, I'd rather get voted out doing something than make it to the end and not do anything. It's like, but if you get voted out before you make it to the end, you have 0% chance at winning the game.
Yeah.
I feel like people take the wrong message from the show when they play these games. They feel like, I've got to make all these big moves if I want to make it to the end. It's like, no, you don't. You can make a move here and there to progress your game, but if your game is just to chill or to float, which I know is like a bad word, and you end up sitting at the end of the game, then you did something right, because you're sitting there and the crazy people that are, trying to make big moves for the sake of big moves are sitting on the jury. Fuck them.
I have a take on that too. Like, I think if you're able to articulate your game in the end, whether you made huge moves, whether you floated by, if you're able to stand on business and say, this is what I did and this is how I got here, you deserve to win. And also, I hate the question, what was your biggest move in the game that only you did? Big moves aren't made by one person.
It's not made by yourself. No one's making these unless you were Tony and Kageyan or
and when it was at war.
Or John B. and Bloomington.
Even in those seasons.
Okay, relax. But yeah, it's the sandwich strategy works way better than the chaotic strategy of other people. The Michelle strategy works a lot better than the Boston Rob, I'm going to keep everyone in check strategy.
Yeah.
But people take the wrong message from the show. So whenever I go into a game and I hear people spouting that, I know immediately, well, they probably have to go, which means I'm just going to shut up and let them talk themselves into a hole. Because they're going to go and all of a sudden they're going to be pissed at me and say, I'm not playing the game. It's like, no, I'm not playing your game.
Yeah.
I'm not playing your game. That's crazy.
I think even like looking at Tony as a unicorn to be able to do these things like in 2 seasons, we don't talk about game changers, but in 2 seasons, is that when he did pull up a big move, he had a loyal ally in Wu, in Kageyan, and in Sarah in Winners at War. He didn't just do it by himself, you know. Mm-hmm. He did blindside Sarah once with the Sophie vote, but then he pulled her back in, right? He had somebody else who had his loyalty to do it. He didn't just do it just to do it. And I think that like a lot of the time, especially like on winning tribes, like if you win a lot in the premiers, you feel like during the merge, you're like, I got to make this huge move. But like that move just opened you up and like made you the next target.
Mm-hmm. I think that's also like what Coach was just saying. I think that's kind of like that when you go on a job interview and they ask you that non-personable question. Name a time where you had a difficult employee. It's like, bro, what is this fucking prototype thing? So when people say that shit, I'm like, this is not a real gamer. I can already judge, like, if you get to the jury, you're looking for flashy. And because I didn't do flashy to your level of appeal, I'm not getting your fucking vote. So it doesn't matter what the fuck I did this whole game. I could be like, well, I was never the vote. And everyone, confided in me. Think like, well, what was your big move? And if you don't answer to their liking, you're never going to get that vote. To me, that's a bot. If you play Fortnite, that's a bot lobby. I don't give a fuck. Getting you out early. All right. My hot take is after LRG, stop fucking adding me on these group chats. Half of you motherfuckers I didn't even fucking play with. Y'all were pre-jury. I don't even know you. And then you add me to the group chat. All I hear for days after days after days. If I did this move, then maybe this would have happened. You think?
Okay, I'm guilty of that.
Guilty.
I don't give. First off,
to this day.
First off, don't add me to that shit. I don't give a fuck. I have a life. Second of all, I don't give a fuck. Yeah, that's my hot take. Don't add me to them shits. I'm leaving right away. That's
but Don, you can just mute the chat.
Yeah. You don't have to make
an iPhone 8 with the button, right? Listen, that shit goes in my storage. Yeah, that's classic. That goes in my storage. I don't want to see that. I get memes. I get memes of John V going inside the fucking trash can, grabbing Taylor's tampon because I thought it was an idol. I don't want to see that shit.
Guilty of making those memes.
Yeah, don't add me in your group chat. If I fuck with you, I'll fuck with you. I'll get your phone number. But besides that, don't add me. None of that.
You don't want to keep in touch with people?
No. Don't add me if I never played the game with you. I'll see motherfuckers go like 182 friends in common.
Yeah.
Follow back. No, I never met you. I'm not gonna follow you because you follow people that know me. Not doing it.
They're getting ready for like if they see you in another game. Hey, we follow each other on Instagram.
And I'm gonna vote you out. Don't do it.
You heard it here.
Don't do it.
Folks, you heard it here first.
Don't follow John. We will vote you out.
Don't follow him. If you don't know him, you're gone.
Oh man. No,
and I get that. I do like being added to those chats afterwards because it is the friends that you make along the way, especially if you don't win the game, you need something out of it. For me, at least, and it is the people that because like I said, I didn't play with y'all, and I still hit y'all up afterwards. But there are also those people that you actually vibed with, and the people that you didn't. If you know that you are not going to vibe after the game, we're good. We don't have to touch base or whatever. I will if we're at a reunion or something like that. I'll be cordial and I'll say hello because I'm not a dick. But like we don't have to run in the same circles, and it's all right. We're adults.
Yeah.
You're not going to like everyone that you come across in life, especially now.
If I get to a
Smart,
lake house party, we could mingle. I don't have to talk to you. I could be in the lake house chilling. You know what I mean?
That's the thing. Big emphasis. We don't have to like everybody. If you want to talk shit about somebody, do it. I don't care. If you want to talk shit about me, cool. Go for it. Because I probably agree with what you're saying because I hate myself sometimes.
But also be kind, guys, please.
Yeah, there's a line. That's an invisible line that's drawn. We don't want to cross it. We can go right up to it. We just can't cross it unless I know you and I know your sense of humor and I can hit you back with it and you won't take offense to it.
Yeah. I think the next step in like LRGs is reunions. Because I think that like group chats are not enough, you know. I think like everybody coming back maybe a year after and like mingling and then talking about it. I think that's the way the real show does it. Like I think Survivor PA did a live reunion right after, which I thought was a step in the right direction. But usually after a game, it's like, all right, we gotta leave the premises because we're getting kicked out of the park. Good night, bye, see you never. Like at least offer, you know, hey, let's come back like 6 months later. Maybe not.
That's what Big Brother Hogwarts is doing. We're doing like a series of reunion recaps. We filmed it in July. So, and we were already talking about it. So they've got a live reality game podcast. We're going to go through each week probably and have a special guest relive the experience and do it with a clear head, I guess, because we all know living in those houses and in those woods and doing all these things, like it stirs your brain. So talking about it with a clearer head also kind of helps you realize this is what happened and this is why it happened, blah, blah, blah. Don't take it personal. If you're going to take it personal, that's on you.
Yeah. You said this is in July that you're going to do this?
No, the season was in July and we're still talking about how it's in the works. So probably September, October, we're going to come back and talk about what happened and do a reunion.
Okay. Ooh, awesome.
So stay tuned.
Yeah. Is there anything else that I feel like we touched on like almost everything?
I do kind of want to play not play a game, but I do have some questions like for each of us.
Okay.
Any upcoming games that we see that are coming out, or any upcoming players in LRG? Like we're highlighting Rachel, who basically is a rookie. It's her first year. She came took it by storm. Any players that we see that you feel like they're going to be great in the future, stuff like that? There's a couple I see. I just kind of want to get your takes on that, Rachel.
Oh God. Like players who have played a few that like are fairly new?
Yeah, fairly new players or someone that you've got a window of and you're like, oh, I kind of, someone I want to follow. I think is doing great in the community.
Yeah. I've definitely seen a lot of Devontae. I've played with Devontae as well and fantastic game player. We hit it off and then had a rocky path and unplugged, but I definitely look up to him as a player. Like he's played Survival Challenge. He just filmed Caucus, like played a bunch of these games. And I'm like, you are what I want to be in a Survivor player specifically. So like definitely a name that keeps coming to mind when I think of these games. Obviously I want to play like Taylor. Because Taylor always makes it to the end, and I want to play like her. But I know I never can because I'm this, and she has her way of doing it. And
sometimes I think Taylor's actually a robot. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
I date her, and I still don't know if she's human.
Listen, her confessionals and ascendants are giving GameBot. That's another term that's thrown around all the time. Is GameBot, GameBot, GameBot. And yeah, I will continue to throw that term out. Okay, GameBot.
Have you ever seen Austin Powers? She's a Fembot. That's what she is. How about you, Joel? Anybody you see coming up? Any games you want to highlight?
Can I say myself? Like,
Oh yeah, live tribal, talk your shit.
Oh yeah.
I really didn't have a good run last year, but there's some stuff coming out, and next year there might be some stuff coming out. Yeah, that's all I can say because nothing's out yet. I can't be like, look, but I definitely feel like the more you play, the more you kind of have that sixth sense on like what's going on in the tribe and how to maneuver. And originally I just thought like I sucked, but I just didn't have the kind of like survivor training to realize like when I am in danger or when I am in a good spot. But yeah, and also I don't want to. There are people in my mind, but I don't want to shout them out because I'm already thinking about future games, so I don't want to put a target on my back if that person is with me. See, I'm that locked in.
There you go. No, I will touch on that Survivor point. Like, I played my first Survivor game this summer. Stay tuned. Episodes coming out December, January-ish, 2025. Outlast Season 3. And I
hope he changed the intro. Sorry. I just hope he changed the intro because that shit is too long. I don't give a fuck. That shit, Justin, that shit is trash. Anyway, sorry.
Talk your shit. Talk your shit. Let me say, beautiful property, beautifully run game. Me in the woods is a little bit crazy. I'm obviously not giving anything away, but like, let me just say that after playing house games for so long, not so long, like literally like a year, Survivor's no joke. So buckle up because that shit's hard.
Yeah. What about you, John?
Just skip Coach.
My bad, Coach. My bad.
Oh no, I was going to piggyback off what you said. I'm not outing anybody. So, if you're looking, good luck. If you're a vet, good luck. I might play a Survivor game here in the next year, but yeah, I'm not gonna put myself. Yeah, I'm coming out of retirement. No, everyone. If you haven't played a game, go play a game. If you've only played one or two games, play another one. And if you're a vet, keep on doing what you're doing. But no, there's nobody that I'm going to sit here and say it because I don't want to out anyone.
Well, I'm gonna say some names. I hope I'm not outing, but it's just like I'm gonna say I feel like an old head. Some young folk that I've seen around, I played against, played with, or know of, which I want to continue to see them playing. I'm gonna play Song 57 once my hair falls off, whichever comes first. There's some good players or players that are good that can become great. One of them is this kid Amir. He's played Survival Challenge. He's played Great Lakes Challenge. Really great human being. Survivor Philly. Sam, also known as Gibble, was the host of IU. Another great player. I want to see evolve their game. Rachael McKenna is on my list. Definitely want to see you. Xavier, I feel like that's my young nephew from afar. They played only 2 games. Just be on the lookout for them. And of course, my little sister Brady with her big ass head. I want to see her continue playing and conquer because she's already a big name. She's only played 3 games, but that head's gonna keep growing.
Period.
I played a mini with Brady. Yeah, she's fun.
National treasure.
Lots of fun.
All right, before we go, do we spin the wheel one more time?
Oh God, this damn wheel!
All right, I see.
Yes. Eyes the wheel next time.
Let's go one more time.
Spin the wheel.
What is it? Oh.
What's that?
Shot. Fuck it. Shot. Let's go.
Oh, all right. Let me go get.
Any last minute things? Anyone want to
so unprofessional. He don't have the shots lined up.
Rachel, I know that. Oh yeah, while Joel's Rachel, I know that you've mentioned in the past, hey, you're gonna take breaks and everything, and this and the other. For people that are just starting out in the community and people that have been in, what would you suggest as a good time to decompress between games?
Well, for live games, let me start off by saying having a 48-hour turnaround time between a Big Brother and a Survivor game is not something I recommend for anybody. So
Why?
yeah, don't do that. Rookie mistake. No, I had a blast in all the games, but I think for me and somebody who is mentally ill, I'll say it again. It's easy to take these games like personal, like mentally, and you get yourself like mentally involved in them and invested. So, I mean, play a game, see how you feel after. There's a lot of things that I found myself falling into this trap of people asking me to play and I can't say no because I don't want to say no. So it's hard to gauge whether you actually want to play. And lately I've been playing minis a lot. I've been playing them back to back to back to back. And I'm like, you know what, guys, I'll say it in the public group chat. Joan asked me to play a game. I'm taking a little breather. But in the meantime, these one day things, you can kind of go as you please. But I really think it depends on game to game. With live games too, like definitely take that time to rest because they are exhausting, whether it's a 1 day game, a 4 day game, a 7 day game. It's a lot. And especially if you're traveling, you've got that jet lag, you've got that, I got to pack up all my stuff and I got to go. I got to find a way to manage time zones and all that stuff. So it's definitely a lot. And I definitely recommend taking those breaks. And let me clear this up for you all. Okay. I said I am not leaving, but like stepping back from the org community. ORG. Do not ask me to play a 30-day org. Thank you very fucking much. Me saying that I want to play minis is different. You seeing me in minis is very much different. Okay, I can handle a 1 night game with my friends. Thank you. And live games too. I mean, I don't have any lined up right now. Kind of just waiting for Outlast to air and then go from there. But I am not playing orgs. I'm not being in your VLs. I'm not keeping up with your games. I'm not talking my shit. I'm not volunteering for that shit. I'm done. Orgo drama will rest. Yes, I'll still pop in and throw my little witty memes and my gifs in the comments. Sure, you'll see me around if you're not getting rid of me. But I am not playing orgs. So don't come at me and say I thought you were leaving the community, because I am. But I'm not leaving the community that you think I am. Thank you very much.
So basically what you're saying to orgs are,
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
and that's what it is. Let's take that shot.
There's
Nice
nobody
shot.
here.
Let's take that shot.
Well, Rachel, we do want to thank you for joining us for our inaugural episode for this. I think that as far as guests that we could have for our first episode, I think that you're in the top tier of that. I do hope that you continue to thrive in this community and to deflect any of the negativity that's forced your way. Also, I hope that you learn. You've mentioned that you have flaws when it comes to kind of with stuff too. I hope that you can learn from those as well. I do look forward to you running back the LRG awards next year. And yeah, I just appreciate you guys. I appreciate you hopping on for this.
Of course. No, I feel like I want to tell people, don't be afraid. If like even to go on these podcasts, I know there's a bunch of those recap ones out there, but something like this, go on, tell your story. Don't be afraid to. If somebody who got as canceled as me can show face on these things, you fucking can too. Like, just be yourself. And if people don't fuck with you, they don't fuck with you. But thank you guys so much for having me. I've had an absolute blast. Anytime, anything you need, anything, I got y'all just like y'all got me. So all the love. And this is a great podcast. And I love how different it is from all those basic ones. No tea, no shade, but all tea, all shade. Yeah.
All right. And with that, we'll close out. We're your humble guests as always. Thank you so much, Rachel. Stay tuned because next week we're back at it. Next week, Sunday, 7:00. New guests, new topics.
Yes.
And we'll have the Instagram working, I promise.
Yes.
Okay. So anything you guys want to say before I close this out?
Don't add me to the group chats. Fuck that.
Don't add John to any group
Don't
chat.
add me.
I don't have to hear about it, please. All right.
Night, everyone. Yeah. Happy Labor Day.